my! Stevens with a little bit more room. Hey, thumb on the football! Big man, scramble!
Action pass to him. He fires to the top. One-handed catch.
Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons. Over the top, and that might be the most impressive interception all day. What a shoot!
Breaking through a tackle.
Oh no!
What a ridiculous sequence of events.
He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
The kick is blocked from Zuderveld. It's loose.
How? What? Welcome to Sim Football Pregame. Along with Eric Vincent, I'm Commissioner Cameron Irvine. I've got my pin here from Bryant Dynasty on my that shoulder. And getting ready for the convention in a couple of weeks. But Eric, the season starts today, season 17. What do you think?
Oh, man, let's get hype. I'm ready for it. This is going to be great. I love simulation football, and this is week one. The opener is always a great time, man.
Mike St. Green's on a ship somewhere in the Caribbean, so we'll see him back here in week 4. But Eric Vincent is here filling in all weekend long. And here's what we got coming up on Next Level Sports. We start in Denver with the defending champions, the Denver Nightwings, taking on the Jacksonville Kings. Two teams, Eric, that are rebuilding but dominant franchises in the postseason historically. We've got Florida, Arizona coming up a little bit later on today on Next Level. You can see the full slate of games going on in the SFL family of networks today. But Eric, Jacksonville, Denver, what do you think about this matchup?
This is a great matchup. Great opener here for week one in season 17. A lot of Denver guys, they're not very happy about what I had to say on the preview for season 17. So we'll have to see how they respond to this Jacksonville Kings offense here. Headed by Marcus Dunhill, he's going to play quarterback for the Kings down in Dirty Duval.
It should be a great one. Of course, we welcome our partner back, APM Music, for the season 17 debut. We've got some old themes coming back out into the fold. Eric, it's going to be a lot of fun today. Florida, Arizona should be pretty good a little later. Max Paul and Eddie Gage, two defensive minds.
Two defensive minds indeed, and Florida, they've got offense on their side as well. Arizona, I could argue the same thing. Ashley Jackson at the helm. You never know what you're going to get with the Scorpions.
That is our action today, and it starts after this commercial break. Jacksonville and Denver. You are watching the SFL on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back.
Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
The 17th season of the Simulation Football League kicks off with a true clash of league titans. But while longtime fans of the SFL will recognize both of these teams as perennial playoff powers, even they might find it hard to identify all the many new faces that will try to usher both these teams into new eras of sustained success. And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium in Denver. Alongside producer extraordinaire, our Cameron Irvine, our statisticians, Roska Santagria and James Troll, and my partner, Brett Solberg. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us as we kick off SFL Season 17 here on Next Level Sports. And Brett, two powerhouse teams, including the reigning league champs, Denver, on display to start off the action here today. But these two teams look quite different from how they did a season ago.
When you look at the two teams on its own, combined 20 new players coming into the fold for Season 17, 13 for Jacksonville and 7 for Denver. Just because it's going to be new looks for a lot of players doesn't mean that both teams could look dominant in this first week. It's going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless.
You said it off the top, Brett. 20 new players combined, including a ton of rookies. Jacksonville and Denver both had to completely reshape their offenses. They've got totally new teams, it feels like, from a season ago. But these are both playoff teams from a year ago. They are perennially two of the best franchises in modern SFL history. The Nightwings, of course, the reigning champs. And we're going to start this season off the way that we ended last season, right here at Richard L. Snowden Stadium in Denver. What better way to begin the 17th season of Simulation Football League action?
And that's going to be Denver defending the title here, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing matchup.
It's fitting that the last game of Season 16 is played at the same spot as the first game of Season 17, and the Jacksonville Kings, playing on the road, will get the ball first. So our first look at the newest member of the Denver Nightwings special teams, Kramer Jackman, one of the best kickers, maybe the best kicker in league history, has retired. Now Matt Fennick takes his place, one of many new faces that we will see in this game. And Season 17 of the Simulation Football League is underway. Jacksonville will get the ball first. The Kings coming out with their white tops. That is Kingston Ellington, the second-year wide receiver, the slot man. He will also return kicks for Jacksonville. And as Brett mentioned, a brand new looking Kings team. This is one of the hallmark franchises of the SFL. They've been in championship games. They have been in playoff appearances year in and year out. And there is Marcus Dunhill, who succeeds all-time great quarterback Christian Christensen, the new signal caller for the Jacksonville Kings. Dunhill's first pass will have to come later. Dunhill is taken down. The defensive front of Denver strikes on the first play of the season.
And Marlon Marshall gets the first sack of Season 17 underway. And what a way to introduce Marcus Dunhill back into the SFL fold by getting him to the ground.
No kidding. Welcome back, Marcus Dunhill, former league MVP, multiple-time All-Star SFL champion with the Atlanta Swarm in Season 14. His first game since then, his first pass since April of 2020, is caught over the middle in the first positive play of the season for Jacksonville. That's hauled in by number 81. Jack Wall, the now veteran tight end.
And you look at that Denver line coming in again, putting pressure on Dunhill, but this time Dunhill finds Jack Wall and gets some positive yardage on this.
Fourth-year tight end out of Long Island with a solid gain. Our brand new score bug here for the SFL. Cameron Irvine working hard behind the scenes as always. First third down of the year. Pass from Dunhill is caught at the top of the screen by Shea Carroll, another new member of this Jacksonville team. His first year with the Kings, now his 8th season overall in the SFL. You see him there.
Former San Diego Maverick and Shea Carroll there. 8th season in the fold here. Looking at a new look Jacksonville wide receiver core here. Gets a nice out route for positive yardage and a first down.
The only receiver that hasn't gotten involved so far is Grayson Willis, the new number 1. Dunhill sidearm toss, and it's hauled in once again by Jack Wall. He is wrestled to the ground by Adam Wiseman, the standout Denver middle linebacker, now in his 4th season with the team. Let's introduce you to both rosters as we like to do here in the SFL. You've already heard from Marcus Dunhill, the new quarterback for the Kings. Jared Willis, who we have not seen yet, is the running back. His brother Grayson Willis, the number 1 wide receiver, alongside Kingston Ellington and Shea Carroll. 2nd and 1, Denver showing blitz and a couple of tight ends for the Kings. The first give of the season to Jared Willis up the middle, 1st down, and a whole lot more. Wiseman once again on the stop, as well as Matt Papineau, who's playing safety this year after a couple of years as a corner.
And Jacksonville playing a lot of passes to start off early on, kind of had Denver forget about the fact that Jared Willis exists exactly, and run right up the middle, and that's an easy 1st down for Willis.
Yeah, nice bait and switch, and they finally go to Jared Willis, who has been a productive back in this league in the past. Dunhill now to throw on 1st down, top of the screen. That's caught by Grayson Willis, and now everybody getting involved. Another gain of 9 through the air for Grayson, the other Willis brother, who is now in his 7th season with Jacksonville. Jared Willis, also in his 7th season in the league, 4th season with Jacksonville. The rest of the offense for the Kings, the 2 tight ends, you've seen Jack Wall twice. Talon Steele joins the fray, the rookie 3rd-round pick. And there are 4 standouts, 4 stars on the offensive line. 2 guards, a left tackle, and the center, Brian French. We'll tell you more about them as we go along. Split back set on 2nd and 1. Denver trying to defend their home side of the field. Jacksonville across midfield. Dunhill will check it down out here to Jared Willis. He's good at this. He gets just past the 1st down, Brett, before he is plastered by number 59, Sam Blanchett.
And if you're a Jacksonville Kings fan, you have to love the slow and methodical progress on this first drive, seeing positive yardage pretty much on every play except for the first one, which happened to be a sack. But Jacksonville slowly trotting down the field, getting closer to getting in field goal range, getting closer to the red zone.
Field goal range is no longer a sure thing for Jacksonville, you would think. More on that as we go along, as they lost their kicker, one of the many changes that this team has had to endure. Willis going the wrong way, tried to go left and then had to go back and right into the waiting arms of Jose Fuentes, another new member of this Nightwings defense, the former Sioux Falls standout, his 1st game with the reigning champs, and it's a tackle for loss.
And a big absolute smother from the Denver defense there, forcing Willis to try to go the other way, but instead he made a weird turn and caused negative yardage there.
The course correction was not into effect. They will go through the air this time to Willis. Better success that time for the Kings offense. Jared Willis with another catch, his 2nd of this drive. He had 107 receptions last season. That was 3rd in the SFL, not 3rd among running backs, 3rd among all players. So with a different quarterback, with a different somewhat of an offensive system for offensive coordinator Frank Gooden a season ago, they love to ride Willis through the sky, and they're showing a little bit of that tendency so far here in this first drive. 4 minutes into the first game of the season, and a 3rd down and long for the Kings from the fringes of field goal range. Dunhill bullets it, and it's knocked away, going over the middle for Shea Carroll. Good coverage, and that brings up 4th down.
And I like that pass attempt from Dunhill there, looking to go a little bit deeper. We've seen a lot of shorter plays happen through Jacksonville. This was more so a test to see if they could go deep on this one, but Papineau was right there to deflect the pass off his back, and now Jacksonville is going to have to force a kick here.
Yeah, great coverage from Papineau. We mentioned the former number 1 corner for Denver, now playing safety thanks to the departure of Maurice Lloyd. Great first drive for him. And because of this situation, Brad, I'm going to get your thoughts on this. Jacksonville is going to have to punt. They don't have a rostered kicker anymore, so Howard McCoy will come on and punt from inside the 35, and Jacksonville will down it at the 5. So a great flip of field. It's only a net of 27 yards, but they don't elect to try a 49-yard field goal from Derek Norman because Anthony Cece is one of the guys that departed this Jacksonville team in the offseason.
Yeah, very interesting move, with me being more so the aggressive.
I'm curious your thoughts about that,
type.
Brett, as we go along, because not every team in this league, if you're new to the SFL, rosters a kicker. People can choose to allocate their rosters however they want. Jacksonville has elected to not have a kicker, and they will punt here to end a strong first drive. The first pass in the SFL career of Eric Price is batted away, incomplete. Great defense over the middle by John Martin, his fellow rookie. And we talked about some of the changes for Jacksonville on offense, Brett, and there's a ton of them to go through, but this Denver offense looks totally different. Their 3 featured players have all retired. Josh Miller, the quarterback, Jared McChesney, the running back, Giacomo Jones, the number 1 wide receiver, all guys that SFL fans will recognize from their run to the SFL title, 2nd in franchise history last year. They're all gone. Price is the new gunslinger, and he will gunsling here over the middle, and it's hauled in for a first down by Logan Keel. Welcome back to the team after a year away.
And it's a nice pass from Eric Price there. We've got 2 passes to start things off from Eric Price, basically to introduce himself to the league. First was a deflection, and then the second one was to the returning Logan Keel, and it's a nice pass.
Yeah, sorry, Brett, didn't mean to cut you off. Over the top behind John Martin and one of the rookies on this Jacksonville defense, one of many. There's 5 newcomers across the Kings defense, and Mike All, the Jacksonville general manager, had to remake every level of this defense, and he's done a great job of doing so, and now he finally gets to test out his new product. Nice first link up for Price, and now the first carry in the career of Bailey O'Shaughnessy, the former minor league standout, spins around, picks up about 7. Greg Gaines on the stop, and another high-profile addition to this Denver offense. He's got big shoes to fill, though, Brett.
No, I would like to give credit on this play to the offensive line, especially given enough space for O'Shaughnessy to get his first run play through the middle and a nice 7-yard gain. And now Denver has an open playbook to work with on second down.
And a nice offensive start for Bailey O'Shaughnessy. He picks up 7 on his first career in the Bigs. He was a standout in the minors, but was the last man selected in this year's rookie draft. They will give it to him again. This time, Jacksonville a little bit more ready for it. John Martin once again on the stop, as well as Mike All, the aforementioned defensive end out of Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Jacksonville had a very good season last year stopping the run. They were amongst the top half of the league, and you would expect the same thing to happen this season with their playbook.
And one of the best defensive lines in the SFL still intact, though they typically have been known to be able to rush the passer. Will they do so here? They do! Down goes Price. First sack of the year for Jacksonville, and right there is one of the best in the business, Hunter Norwood, who went over 100 sacks in his career last season. He's got one here in season 17.
And you'd like to think one of the sure things in the SFL is that Hunter Norwood is going to get a sack in this game. And he gets one early on and introducing Price to the turf himself. And now both teams have 1 sack against opposing quarterbacks in this game.
Surprising to me, and we'll talk more about this as this game goes along, that amazing 1-2 punch that Jacksonville has. You just saw Hunter Norwood on the inside and Taquan Hale on the outside. Down years for both of them, but they are 2 of the best pass rushers this league has ever seen. Punt is away from Matty Wiseman, and it's fielded by Ellington. So that great flip of field after the punt deep inside enemy territory doesn't come back to burn Jacksonville. The Nightwings can't do anything with it, and now the Kings will have their second crack at it.
Now, that was an excellent stop by the Jacksonville defense. It looked a little bit shady to start off with a nice Bailey O'Shaughnessy run, but they shored up the defense, and now they have the ball back, and Dunhill is back out on the field to do what he does best.
Denver gets a sack on its first defensive possession, despite the fact that the Kings roster 4-star offensive linemen. That is not a new thing. The Kings have loved their O-linemen in the past, did not roster 1 last year, and now they have 4. Second possession of the season, a toss from Dunhill to Jared Willis, and that play was doomed from the start. Great pressure again from Marlon Marshall, who has his second TFL of the game.
Well, absolutely a great jump off the snap from Marlon Marshall. Basically, no offensive lineman from the Kings touched Marshall as he went through and got to Willis right away, basically within milliseconds of Willis grabbing the ball.
We just mentioned they've got 4 standouts on the offensive line, but none of them were able to stop Marshall on that play. Dunhill to throw on second and long. Pass is caught. Great link up. That's a way to get back in the positive after a negative play. Grayson Willis picks up a first down by himself, a gain of 20.
And that is what Marcus Dunhill was brought to Jacksonville for. He just brings an absolute dart of a pass to Grayson Willis there, basically around 2 or 3 defenders there, threading a needle and getting to him for a first down.
Great matchup there against number 24 for Denver, Nick Kindler, who was the number 2 corner last year behind Matt Papineau, but now he's the number 1. That bumps up Rosca Santagria down to the number 2 spot on the bottom of your screen. First and 10 for Dunhill, floats it over the middle, pass is caught once again into double coverage. And how about Shea Carroll in his first game with the Kings, already his 3rd catch?
And Carroll making an impact already with the Kings. Like you said, the 3rd catch of this game, and I think this one has been the most impressive so far. Dunhill basically planting his spot with that ball, and Carroll diving to grab that ball. Just an excellent play.
Dunhill has spread it around nicely so far. First carry of this drive for Jared Willis. Not a lot doing there. Jose Fuentes once again on the stop. Let's introduce you to the rest of the Jacksonville offense as we promised. They're 4-star offensive linemen. Olivia Bleeker, the tackle. The guards are Robert Crone and Alden Bleeker, and the center is Brian French. So 4 standouts that you'll get used to hearing from if you watch Kings games the rest of the season. They have been known to employ the offensive linemen in the past, like we've said. They hope that having 4 will help bring them to some glory this year. They try to pave the way for Jared Willis. He can only pick up 3, and he's stood up by Josh Vasquez.
And Denver last season as well, also known for stopping the run, and it looks to be the same here, as Willis had a decent gap off his left side, but unfortunately just didn't get a lot of yardage on that one, so now it's a 3rd and medium.
A lot closer to field goal range this time. Remember, the Kings had to punt last drive. Dunhill to throw on 3rd and 6. It's tipped away. He had a man streaking into the corner. Would have been an easy touchdown, but it's knocked away at the last second by Rosca Santagria. That brings up 4th down.
Yeah, it's a great defensive stand from Denver as Jacksonville kept inching closer and closer. Denver basically said, we got to stop you at this point, and now could possibly force 3 points instead of 7.
And now they will trot out Derek Norman, his first career field goal attempt. Anthony Cece was the kicker for the Kings the last couple of years, earned the nickname Automatic because he rarely, if ever, missed. He's gone, and so now Norman will take his place. He doesn't quite have the range that Cece has, and the first field goal attempt of the season is no good.
Ooh.
And that's the risk you run. Norman could have put the Kings ahead, but he pushes it wide, and we remain scoreless.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of nerves coming out from Derek Norman there. And as you can see, that ball it was almost like a diagonal kick there. And it ends up being wide to the right. Denver, a little bit of a sigh of relief there, even though they had a good stand, keeps Jacksonville pointless.
2 drives for the Kings. They come up empty both times on the road against the defending champs. New life for Eric Price. He will toss it out to Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Spins around and picks up 3. The first time that we've seen those two link up through the air. We'll introduce you now to the Nightwing offense. Couple of rookies. You just heard from them. Eric Price, 2nd-round pick. Bailey O'Shaughnessy, 3rd-round pick. R.E. Mills is the fullback, one of the best in the business. 3 wideouts, Logan Keel, Riley Quintero, and Bryce Battle. 2 tight ends, Jeremy Mosley and Jim Copeland Jr. And the offensive line is spearheaded by left guard Gene Benazzi, one of the few holdovers from their championship team. Price has all day, floats it, pass is caught, and there is Jim Copeland Jr., another one of the rookies. So a rookie-to-rookie link-up in the first career catch for Copeland.
It's 2 plays there, and it's rookie-to-rookie on the first one and rookie-to-rookie on the second one here. And we're going to get ourselves familiarized with Jim Copeland Jr. He had an excellent season in the minors, and he's going to try to transition that to a good SFL rookie season here. Watch out for Copeland Jr. throughout this game.
He's going to be the number 2 tight end behind Jeremy Mosley, who's now in his 4th season, all with Denver. But the Nightwings adopting a little bit of a new look with 3 wideouts and 2 tight ends. They did not employ that last year en route to the championship. Fresh set for Price, floats it over the middle, pass is caught once again, and there is Jeremy Mosley. So 2 plays consecutively for double-digit gains to both tight ends, Brett, and you might be seeing on first-hand look at a new philosophy here for Adam Wiseman and company.
And with Eric Price having so many options to go through, it's like a kid in a candy shop kind of situation for him as he comes in with Denver. He's got Battle, Quintero, Keel, Mosley, and Copeland Jr. to work with. That's a dream.
3 veteran pass catchers to go along with the rookie Copeland and the sophomore Quintero, and he will now check it down to another rookie, O'Shaughnessy. Head of steam for O'Shaughnessy, and a nice gain for the rookie. Sucalomano puts it into it. He will be stopped inches short of the line to gain. You see the speed that O'Shaughnessy possesses.
Yeah, and O'Shaughnessy had that speed coming into the SFLM, and now he's once again, transitioning to the SFL game. It's a little bit different, but so far in this first quarter, all the rookies from Denver, I don't see the nerves yet.
No doubt. You see rookies struggle to adapt to the big league sometimes. Not in this first game. They'll check it down again to O'Shaughnessy. Makes a man miss. Picks up the first down. Nice slip move there for O'Shaughnessy. We're done with 1 in Denver. No score thanks to the missed field goal from the Kings. The reigning champs on the move. You're watching the SFL Saturday Showcase presented by 8 p.m. Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Snowden Stadium in Denver, Colorado, alongside Brett Solberg, Roska Santagria, James Stroll, Cameron Irvine. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us as we kick off Season 17 of the Simulation Football League. The Nightwings driving. Price floats it up. Top of the screen is caught. First down and more for Bryce Battle. Accelerates inside the 10, and he's stopped at the 6-yard line by a trio of Kings. Biggest play through the air for either team, Brett, and the first catch of the season for Bryce Battle.
An incredible start to that second quarter there. Bryce Battle getting himself wide open space after the catch there, and with his speed, that was a threat of a touchdown. But thankfully for Jacksonville, the defense swarms them and stops them inside the 6.
He's really elevated his game over the last couple of years, entered the league as the number 3 wide receiver for Jeremy Vega, the former head coach here and the owner of this team, and now he's the number 2 wide receiver in tandem with Logan Keel. Inside the red zone are the Nightwings. O'Shaughnessy on the toss for Price, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown! The 2 rookies link up for the first score of their professional careers. Price to O'Shaughnessy, and the Nightwings strike first.
And we were talking during the break that we haven't seen any points yet after the first quarter, but Denver right away with that long play to start off, and then O'Shaughnessy with a quick dump pass and an easy touchdown, and now Denver, the defending champions in their home stadium, making a statement in the second quarter with the early lead.
Right, we didn't see any points in the first quarter, and then 2 plays, 19 seconds, 32 yards later into the second quarter, the first points of Season 17, courtesy of 2 rookies, 2 newcomers to the league in their first games. Another newcomer to this team, but not to the league. Matt Fennick is one of 3 in the SFL Major Leagues. He joins the Nightwings, the reigning champs. Talk about big shoes to fill, filling in for succeeding one of the best, perhaps the best kicker in league history, and Kramer Jackman, who staked another peg to that claim in the title game with a game-winning kick. His time expired. He retired after 5 seasons, so enter Matt Fennick, who has been excellent over his first 2 seasons with the Louisiana Revolution, and he makes his first kick as a member of the Nightwings, and he will kick off here. Ellington waiting to return inside the 5, runs into traffic, and our first penalty now of the season on this return, a solid one for Ellington. And we will meet everybody's favorite member of the SFL, R62.
Ooh.
Face mask against the Nightwings. It's going to go against Jonah Lamu, one of the linebackers. Look at him there at the scene of the crime. First penalty of the season, and that's going to bump up the Kings a free 15 yards.
And that's kind of what Jacksonville wants after allowing a touchdown here, getting more field position to get those points back and possibly tie this game.
Right, you are. So they will start past the 30 after that penalty. Marcus Dunhill in his return to the SFL. The give to Jared Willis, runs into traffic and is stonewalled for no gain. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, we are watching the SFL, and that combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Another give to Jared Willis, and a big hole this time for Willis. First down and more, and a pickup of about 11. And the best run of the game for either team. Josh Vasquez brings an end to it.
And that was a tale of 2 polar opposite stories there. The first play, we saw Denver absolutely swarming Willis at the line to no gain. But this time, the Jacksonville offensive line gives him enough of a gap. And Willis, with his speed, gets past the first down marker and a little bit extra. And now Jacksonville has another first down.
You mentioned this Jacksonville offensive line. That was Olivia Bleeker. You saw her 56 in the white and blue. The tackle paving the way for Willis on that play. This time they go back to Willis, and this time he is snowed under. Jose Fuentes leads the pack. Des Troyer is there as well. What a pickup Jose Fuentes is, Brett. I mean, Denver loses Echo Love, a veteran linebacker, retires in the offseason, so they pick up Jose Fuentes, a former middle linebacker and a former SFL finalist with the Sioux Falls Sparrows. He now fills in that spot. That is such an awesome free agent acquisition. He's lived up to the hype so far. 2nd and 10, Dunhill hit as he throws, flips it out to the fullback Fred Foreman, and he's taken down by Nick Kindler after a short game.
And like you said about Jose Fuentes, their former Sioux Falls Sparrow here, he had 82 tackles last season. He's a bit of a all-around kind of guy there. He's also got 9 pass deflections and 2 interceptions last season. He's going to be all over the field.
He's a middle linebacker by trade, played there in what was an elite linebacker trio for the Sparrows, and now forms a nice 1-2 with Adam Wiseman. 3rd and 5. Dunhill throws a short pass, is caught by Ellington, and he gets right to the sticks for a first down. First catch of the season for Kingston Ellington, his 2nd season in the SFL. Not one of the many rookies on this Kings team, but either way, his first catch as a King, and he moves the chains.
And with Marcus Dunhill returning after a little bit of a hiatus or a retirement, whatever you want to say about that, he's going to have to rely on those veteran presences like Ellington, like Carroll, like Jack Wall. So we're going to see a lot of action from them.
And Grayson Willis now the longest tenured member of this Kings team, his 7th season. Fake handoff. Dunhill now will throw to Jared Willis. Hits a couple of men. He's taken down by Rosca Santagria. Now's as good a time as any to introduce you to the rest of the Denver defense. You've heard from a lot of them. The defensive line, Marlon Marshall and Hugo Reynosa, the new member of this team, and Des Troyer on the line. Jose Fuentes and Adam Wiseman are the backers. Rosca Santagria and Nick Kindler, the corners, and the safeties, Josh Vasquez, Matt Papineau, and the rookie Isaiah King III. First-round pick for the Nightwings this season. Somebody jumped offside. Dunhill free play, floats it up. Pass is caught. There's Talon Steele. First catch in the SFL for the rookie tight end from Nashville.
It looks to be a jump from the left end there. We'll have to see if that's true here.
Might have been Hugo Reynosa, the newest member of this Nightwing defensive front. We just talked about him, and it is the 3rd-year defensive end from El Paso. Spent his first 2 years in the SFL with Lone Star, was solid for the Glory. Now joining the Nightwings, they had an opening on the defensive line, but he jumps. It's a free play that the Kings will take the result of that play and get Steele a free catch. You'll look at him there, Talon Steele. Had 16 catches, but no touchdowns in the minor leagues, 7 total games with the Birmingham Fuel. It's his first catch as a pro. Another play-action pass. Dunhill has all day. Bullets it right sideline, and another catch and another first down for the Kings. There is that veteran presence that you called for, Brett. Grayson Willis, the 7th-year man, with his 3rd catch.
The veteran presence, like you said, but I have to give credit to those linemen, the fresh new linemen, giving Dunhill plenty of time in the pocket to read his progressions and see the open receiver for that deep catch. And now inside the red zone, Jacksonville's threatening.
It is rare that you see a quarterback in this league have that much time, and it paid off immediately in a gain of 10 or so that time for Grayson Willis. Dunhill now inside the red zone. Bullets it, and that's out. It's offline, I should say, intended for Ellington, but there were a couple of Nightwings in the area. 2nd down.
A little bit of a bump before the catch there. Some hardcore fans might say pass interference on that one, but I say no go. That was just a light bump. So 2nd down, just run it through again.
And if one of the best wide receivers in SFL history is saying no pass interference on the play, then there definitely wasn't any pass interference on the play. 2nd and 10 now from the 13. The Kings trying to respond. The give to Jared Willis, and he's hogtied from behind by Des Troyer, one of the most appropriately named people in the SFL. He is an absolute load in the middle for the Nightwings, and he's got a nice stop on Jared Willis.
And going back to last season with Denver, one of the key factors to Denver's 11-1 success was limiting points from the red zone by opposite teams. So we're seeing that again here in this game.
3rd and 10. Dunhill this way this time, caught by Willis, and he is able to get the first down, just barely shoved down at the end of the run by Jose Fuentes, who has another tackle. But for the 2nd time on this drive, Jacksonville needs a big play, and they link up with Grayson Willis.
And Grayson Willis is being a heavily reliant option so far for Marcus Dunhill, getting back to the SFL fold here. Now Jacksonville at the 2, playbook wide open. We're going to have to see what happens on this set of downs.
We'll spread it out. A couple of tight ends and a single setback. That's Jared Willis. 2 wides to the top of the screen. The give to Willis, and he breaks through the contact and scores. The Kings do respond. Jared Willis has the touchdown. Only 5 rushing scores for him a season ago, and he gets the Kings on the board in season 17.
And Willis, you have to think, was a response from Bailey O'Shaughnessy getting a receiving touchdown, basically saying, you know what, I can do you one better. I'm going to run it into the end zone myself. It might have been only 2 yards, but at the end of the day, 6 points is 6 points. And now Jacksonville, with this extra kick, if they make it, will tie this game.
So we get another look at Derek Norman. Remember, missed a field goal earlier in this game in the first quarter, could have put the Kings ahead on their second position, and now he will try to tie the score for the road team, and he does so, no problem. To your point, Brett, I think it's interesting because the Kings scored that touchdown ultimately like the Nightwings scored a lot of their touchdowns last year. Bruising run up the middle with a star running back. And the way the Nightwings scored their first touchdown is the way that the Kings scored a lot of their touchdowns a season ago. A toss from the quarterback to the running back. Jared Willis had 6 receiving touchdowns. He only had 5 rushing touchdowns, as we mentioned a second ago. So very early stages, no question about it, but a little bit of a role reversal for these two teams here in their second quarter of season 17. Riley Quintero will try to return this kickoff, and longtime fans of the SFL, or even just recent fans of the SFL, will know about Quintero's exploits. Had that famous now kick 6 in the playoffs last season against the Arizona Scorpions that kept Denver's postseason run alive. They could well have lost that game without him, and of course they win 2 more games after that and win the SFL championship, the second in franchise history. And now they are the team to beat, coming off of 2 straight 11-1 seasons. Here is Bailey O'Shaughnessy, and a nice run for him. He picks up 6.
Nice open gap on the left side there to give O'Shaughnessy enough space to speed his way down the field a little bit. 6-yard gain and a second medium situation. And if you've known me for long enough, the 2 words that I love to say a lot: open playbook.
And that's always the situation that coaches want to be in, right? That means that they'll keep the opponents guessing, and that means they can pick anything that they want. What will Price pick here? Floats it, passes, tipped again, and then picked off. The first takeaway of the season on the tip drill. The Kings have the takeaway, and it's the new safety, Greg Gaines, a former cornerback in the SFL, as his first pick of the season.
And you have to think, for Eric Price, that was the first risky pass of the game for him and the Nightwings, and a little bit of a hot potato action coming from number 90, that was Yakov Zolotov there. And then Gaines gets the interception, and now Jacksonville, after just scoring a touchdown, has the ball back again.
In enemy territory already. You're right. The rookie Zolotov with the tip. Now the veteran Greg Gaines, his first game with the Kings, has the takeaway. They'll give to Willis. Couple of spin moves for Willis. Still trying to turn forward and finally taken down after a gain of 8 by Rosca Santagria. That was a bruising run for Jared Willis, who is normally more of the finesse type back, the pass catcher, the fleet of foot guy. Shows his bruising ability there too.
Jared Willis is the type of guy, though, that loves to come back on the field after an interception, and you see it right there, an 8-yard gain, just bruising his way through.
One of the best elements of this Denver team last year was the fact that they hardly ever turned the ball over. Oh, what a hit that was! Jared Willis has to take a seat. He runs right into Adam Wiseman.
And Adam Wiseman with that Lou Thez press for those wrestling fans over there, a la Stone Cold. Absolutely demolishing Willis behind the line, not behind the line, right at the line essentially. And now it's a 3rd and 1.
That was definitely a stunner for Jared Willis. How is he going to respond? Dunhill will throw, try to give him a break. Oh, so much for that. They will throw it to Willis, and he's plastered once again. They will give him the spot, however. They needed 1, and he just barely gets 1. I think it was Kindler on the stop, 24 against 24, and Willis just barely able to get the edge.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a challenge.
Here you go. Right on cue, Brett. The first red flag of the season. The SFL has it all, folks. If you're new to the league, this league has everything. Seems like every game is full of action, crazy events, things that you never thought you would see before. This is a fairly common occurrence in this league, though, but we're going to get our first challenge of the season from the new Denver head coach, Adam Wiseman. And now his first game as the team's head coach. He's got head coaching experience, though, a couple of years in the minors, and has been kind of Jeremy Vega's right-hand man in a lot of ways over the last couple of years. Great player on the field. His first game as a coach, he throws the flag, and he wins his first challenge as a Major League head coach.
Now we got to check the pockets of R62. If you see any green in there, then Jacksonville has a statement to make about certain things happening. But 4th and inches now instead of turning it from a first down, and they're still on the field.
Yeah, Jacksonville's going to have to go for it, or at least they will act like they will on 4th and inches. They will snap it. Dunhill will pass, and it's caught. First down, the first 4th down attempt of the season, and the Kings come up aces. First down catch for Jack Wall.
You gotta like the intestinal fortitude from Jacksonville coming in saying 4th and inches. You'd overturn the play on that challenge. We're still gonna go for it here, and they get the first down. They're close to red zone range here.
They get it anyway. The give again to Willis, wrapped up again by Jose Fuentes. And only a couple of yards, maybe just one on the play. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player to join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,500 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. We kick off season 17 of the SFL here today. A shovel this time from Dunhill into the path of Jared Willis. That play worked fairly nicely, Brett, unlike the last time, and Sam Blanchek finally brings an end to the run after a gain of about 8.
You know, in this second quarter, we're seeing a lot of Jared Willis on this one as opposed to what we saw in the first quarter, which wasn't a lot. Willis only had around 2 yards per carry in the first quarter, and now we're seeing a little bit more action, and that number's starting to rise a little bit on the YPC.
Denver showing blitz on 3rd and 1. They'll again give it to Willis, and he's again met in the backfield. Des Troyer has had a massive first half.
Yeah, and Des Troyer being all over the place around that line there, giving those rookie linemen from Jacksonville a little bit of a tougher time. And now another field goal situation. We're going to have to see if this time he can make this one.
This one will be from about 36. You like the call, Brett?
You know what? Not too bad. I don't mind this at all.
This is within range for Derek Norman. Already missed one and made his extra point, and the kick this time is good. Officially from 35, Norman puts Jacksonville ahead for the first time.
I think on that first one, there was a lot of nerves, especially when it comes to those first kicks. You talk to any kicker in any football league, and they're going to say the first kick of your career is going to be a nervous one. It's going to feel like that fourth quarter game-winning one situation. But the second one is going to be much easier in your head. And this time, Norman makes it and now gives Jacksonville a slight lead.
Both kickers from the teams a season ago know a thing or two about fourth quarter game-winning kicks, but new territory for the two new kickers, Matt Fennick and Derek Norman, who makes his first of the season. Here's another good kick return for Riley Quintero, and yes, apologies to the brain trust of the Arizona Scorpions that are in the chat. You can join us on twitch.tv/FTFnext for that. Sorry to those of you in the Arizona community for bringing up that playoff game, but that was really what signaled Riley Quintero's arrival to this team. He had kind of a decent year after a standout minor league season 2, but that kick return touchdown really cemented, reestablished, I guess, his spot on this Denver team now in his second season in the Bigs. Price, after that interception, will throw into the heels of Logan Keel, and a great one-on-one tackle by Greg Gaines.
The heels of Keel. You got a little bit of a poet history there for you there. Yeah, just an unfortunate bounce out of basically hitting his chest, trying to catch it with the hands and chest, and sometimes when it hits the equipment, it just pops right out. Just an unfortunate incompletion on that play.
Always rhyme time with me, Brett. Just get used to it. Sorry in advance. 2nd and 10 after Gaines with the pass deflection to follow up his first interception of the season. Price deep drop, top of the screen, and it's caught this time. Price is able to link up with Logan Keel. And what an interesting situation this is. Logan Keel now his 6th season in the SFL, 5th season with Denver, but usually when we say that, those are consecutive seasons, but Keel did not play last year. Giacomo Jones was the number 1 wide receiver for Denver. We mentioned he, along with Josh Miller and Jared McChesney, retire in the offseason. That opens up a spot for Logan Keel to rejoin the team. 2 minutes left in the first half of the first game of the 17th season of the SFL. We'll be right back. This is the SFL on Next Level Sports. powerhouse matchup between two of the best teams in recent league history to start off the 17th season of league history. Bailey O'Shaughnessy with a spin move. He is off to the races. He's hit by the veteran Succolomano, and the best carry of the year already for the rookie Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Denver all the way out to the Jacksonville 31.
And that was just excellent field awareness from Bailey O'Shaughnessy, and combined with good blocking work from the Denver offensive line gives O'Shaughnessy a lot of space, a ton of space, and showcases his speed to get that deep first down run.
Give him 20 on the play. First down now from the 31. Price has all day. Floats it. It's caught by Quintero through coverage. Great coverage, in fact, by Succolomano. Somehow Price feathers it through.
You give Denver a commercial break, and then they come out firing. That's 2 straight commercial breaks, and then we've seen 2 big plays in a row afterwards, and now Denver firing on all cylinders.
Inside the 5 on just 2 plays. They were on their own side of midfield. And now R.E. Mills with his first carry of the season, and one of the best fullbacks in the league strikes the Nightwings with 3 plays to go better than 50 yards. And Mills is into the end zone. The Nightwings regain the lead.
Yeah, that almost seems unfair that Denver gets these commercial break jump starts that they usually get. It's like those defibrillators, clear, those kind of situations right on the sidelines. Give them enough breathing room. Oh my Lord, Denver coming back to this game, giving themselves a 3-point lead, maybe 4 after this extra point.
Approximately 54 yards in 3 plays, if my memory serves, which does not always. And Matt Fennick now will come on to attempt a PAT, his second of the season. Jacksonville gets a little bit of a rush, but it's no problem for Fennick. And the Nightwings now have their second touchdown. Their other ball carrier strikes R.E. Mills, who, get this, Brett, I said one of the best fullbacks in the SFL. After his first 2 seasons in the league, he didn't have any rushing touchdowns. He had 4 receiving touchdowns. And now in his first game of his 3rd season, he has his first career rushing touchdown. New brain trust on the team with Adam Wiseman taking over. Maybe a new philosophy, but either way, R.E. Mills has his first touchdown on the ground. Another decent kick from Matt Fennick, and Ellington will bring it out to the 27. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Eric Vincent break down the first half between the Kings and the Nightwings, update you on the action going on around the league, and they sit down with the new Denver Nightwings head coach, Adam Wiseman. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. And they're right on cue. It's like they're listening to us. There is Adam Wiseman, the now standout middle linebacker for the Nightwings, trying to help his team hold this now 4-point lead. The Kings have all 3 timeouts and 1 minute with which to work. Willis on the carry, not a lot there, and Wiseman is there to make the stop along with Hugo Reynoso.
Well, it looks like Jacksonville might be running down the clock to end the half here. I don't know about that decision here. I can't remember if they're going to get the ball back in the 3rd quarter, but I would be the aggressive man and try to go as deep as much as possible.
I was going to ask you what you thought. I think Denver will get the ball to start the second half, but regardless, teams do their own thing at the end of the first half sometimes. Dunhill will try to throw, and he's hit as he does so by Troyer. He has been everywhere in this first half. That'll be a quarterback hurry. He was looking for Shea Carroll, I guess, technically, but it will be 3rd down and 8, and now a decision here for Frank Goodin.
You know, for every quarterback, when they have their nightmares and they wake up, the first 2 words that they say are Dez and Troyer. An absolute menace last season, and it looks like we're going to see the same thing this season.
Top 6 in sacks and tackles for loss. That was neither, but it was still just as effective. Dunhill will find Shea Carroll this time. He stopped inbounds, a good tackle by Santagria, and neither team will use a timeout, Brett. That means they're just going to let this game run to half.
Jacksonville's going to probably trust on their second half performance to see what they're going to do here.
Jacksonville will just let the clock run out. 2 touchdowns for the Nightwings, 1 touchdown and a field goal for the Kings, and this primetime battle of the Bigs has lived up to the hype. The halftime report with Cameron Irvine and Eric Vincent is next with Denver on top. This is the SFL on Next Level Sports.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime. Eric and I are missing, but we'll get that fixed. Alongside Eric Vincent, I'm Cameron Irvine. I promise you, 14-10, Denver leads Jacksonville at the break. Eric, your thoughts on the first half?
Both very methodical drives basically the entire time in this first half by both Denver and Jacksonville. The one turnover there by Denver to set Jacksonville up in plus territory ended up getting a field goal out of the deal. But, it's been a back and forth, and we kind of expected this sort of thing from both the rookie on Denver's side and Marcus Dunhill coming back from a couple seasons absence. So it's been a great opening game so far for season 17.
Well, while we work on those cameras, let's get to our halftime interview this week. It was with new Denver Nightwings head coach Adam Wiseman, and we got a chance to sit down with him and find out what he thinks about his new position with the defending champions. Welcome to our first segment of season 17 of People Behind Players. Today, Mike and I are joined by the Denver linebacker and head coach of the Nightwings, Adam Wiseman. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Cam. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, good to see you, Adam. Glad you could join us, man, for our first segment of the season. You this season coming into Denver, new head coach, Cam just mentioned. Can you talk a little bit about what pressure may be on you as a new head coach of a championship-winning team? The last time Denver won the championship, they failed to make the playoffs the following season after a coaching change. Is there any pressure on you that you feel like that you need to win and get this team back to the championship again this season?
There's always pressure like that, especially even if Jeremy was coming back, there would still be pressure to kind of repeat. You want to do the best that you can for the season. I think there's a little bit more pressure with us having to kind of rebuild the offense a little bit, losing Josh Miller, Giacomo Jones, and Jared McChesney, and replacing them with a couple of rookies at the quarterback and running back position. So there's a little bit added pressure with that. But we're looking at this like a reload and not a rebuild. I think that first time around we looked at more as a rebuild. And so that kind of hurt a little bit of that feeling going in, that we weren't going to be there necessarily. It was more of a surprise when we only missed out by a game at the end. And so this year we're going definitely in with more of a mindset of this is a reload and not a rebuild, and we expect to be there into the playoffs, every season in Denver. I mean, that's always the goal, is to make the playoffs. And then once you're in the dance, anything can happen, as we've seen last few seasons in the SFL. It's always kind of a crazy time in the playoffs. So the number one goal is to get there, and then from there, hopefully, win another championship.
Adam, what's your relationship been like with Jeremy Vega, the team owner? You and him have been kind of tied at the hip here for the last couple of years, doing a lot to help out that Denver organization to their second championship. But now as a head coach, just kind of how has that relationship evolved between the two of you?
I consider Jeremy a friend. We've never met in person. That's the great thing about the SFL is all these people that are behind screen names and everything, and never met Jeremy in person, but I would consider him a friend. He's just a great person, definitely a mentor to me when it comes to anything in coaching, and the relationship is very, very solid. I can go to him and we meet weekly to kind of just discuss life and the SFL, and we've it's been this roster build has been a lot of me with his input, so he's given me a lot of control that I didn't expect right away, but appreciate all that control. So he's definitely kind of handed me the keys and said it's yours and go with it, but he's still going to be a huge part as an owner of the organization, and I can go to him with anything that I want. Anything that I need, he'll be there for me. So, I think we've got a very, very strong relationship, and I think, that may be a little bit different than what was going on in that season 14. Again, I don't know behind the scenes what was going on, and that's going to probably be a little bit different this season compared to that, because we've had, 4 seasons to build up this kind of relationship. So he's trusting me with a lot, and I'm going to do my best to make his trust, succeed.
And excuse me, Adam, you talked about Denver reloading as opposed to rebuilding. You drafted a couple of rookies that are going to come in and try to fill some huge shoes of MVP running back and championship winning running back and quarterback. Tell us a bit about the rookies that you picked up and what went to the decisions of picking the rookies that you decided to go with.
Yeah, so I think, the SFL draft is something that is completely different than any other draft in professional sports, in a sense, because we have limited rosters. So we knew going into this draft that Baltimore was the only other team that needed a running back. So we were going to let them, and they drafted before us, we were going to let them make the decision and then, kind of take who, we were going to have a choice either way of who we wanted at the running back position. It ended up being our top 2 choices is what we had left at the end of the day, and a lot of thinking. That Saturday night, we kind of went away with not knowing what we were going to do at the running back position, and we finally Bailey was number 1 on our board at that position. Everything he did over his 2 seasons in the SFL, he was exactly what we were looking for. And not to take anything away from the other running backs in the SFLM, Doug Brown in particular, that was the other one. I'll say it. That's who else we were choosing between. Doug was a very close number 2. And honestly, their interviews with us, everything about him, we would have been lucky to get either one of them. We had the choice of both, and it was a very difficult choice, and we decided to go with Bailey, just for the reasons, that he was number 1 on our board to start. Nothing really changed that factor, so let's go with our number 1. At the quarterback position, we were looking between 3 or 4 guys. Eric Price was near the top of our board there. He's a guy who's efficient, very smart. Showed a ton of leadership characteristics in our interviews, and has already shown some leadership in our locker room as well. Somebody who we think, both those positions, we think we have cornerstone franchise people at those positions that are going to be here for the long run. And that's something about Denver is these are the only, there's only been 2 players now at those positions in Denver history. So Josh Miller was the only quarterback Denver's ever had. Jerry McChesney was the only running back Denver's ever had. And now Eric and Bailey are stepping in to fill those shoes, and we feel like they're going to be here for a long time to come. Will really help us, again, reload and win more championships here in Denver. And then the non-2 flashy positions that we drafted, we decided this was something that I wanted to do a 2 tight end offense with 3 wide receivers also, just to give a rookie quarterback more weapons. We drafted Jim Copeland Jr., and he again was a guy who was at the tight end position, was going to be high up on our board. He was number 1 or number 2 going into the draft. And we were able to get him, and works out perfect that we're able to get Eric too, because they've already got the connection from Madison and the minors. So, it's bringing in more people that are familiar with the rookie quarterback. It's just going to help them out even more. And then with our first round pick, we got a guy who we think is going to be a star in this league. I think Isaiah King III is just going to be an absolute star. He just has all the charisma. He's a Denver Nightwing. One thing that screamed out to us in our interviews is he's a Denver Nightwing. We've got Roscoe Santagria, who I think is very similar personality-wise to him. And I think he's a young kid who's going to be able to grow and is going to be an absolute stud in this league and hopefully a stud with Denver for a long time. So we were very, very happy with our draft. I think the draft fell perfectly for us. We made a deal to kind of free up so we can draft Isaiah without losing one of our quarterbacks picks. You know, and it played out perfectly. And then to have that last pick of the draft to take a running back, I think, as Cam said, the most relevant Mr. Irrelevant probably in sports history.
Yes.
With Bailey there. I think it's just going to be, you know, a great season for them and really a building season. And I'm excited to see what they can do this season because I think all four of them can have huge impacts for our team and help us, you know, continue to build what we're building in Denver.
Well, Adam, we love the passion. I think Denver, I mean, one heck of an offseason for Denver, certainly. But you can definitely see that you're a Nightwing all the way. I think Denver made the right call in their new head coach. And good luck defending your title this season, Adam. It's a pleasure.
No, thanks you very much, guys. And thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be the first one on the halftime show. So, you know, I'm looking forward to a great season 17 from you guys.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for coming on, Adam.
Oh, Eric, we're still not back.
Hey, we're gone.
That's unfortunate. I really thought that we had fixed that. I apologize to our television audience. But, Eric, 10-0 Queen City on top of Fort Worth right now in the second quarter and other action. A bit surprising is Fort Worth's former coach now over in Queen City and putting it to him right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Just looking at the stats, you know, the passing attack for Queen City is just dominating Fort Worth on defense, and it's something just as a member of the Fort Worth Toros that I did not see coming into week one today. So it's been one of those head scratchers so far as it looks like Queen City is driving once again, first and goal from the Fort Worth 9.
Well, we'll try again in postgame. How about that? 14-10, Denver leading Jacksonville at the half. We're back to Tim Hackett and Brett Solberg, and actually, Fort Worth just got a pick in the end zone.
Let's go.
They get a stop there. We'll be back for the second half. Denver, Jacksonville coming up next. You're watching the SFL on Next Level Sports.
The 17th season of the Simulation Football League kicks off with a battle of two of the league's best from last season to perennial powers that are both ushering in new eras as we start off season 17. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you're joining us from. Alongside Brett Solberg, I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you. Riley Quintero and the Denver Nightwings will get things started. Their first possession of the second half. Rosca Santagria and James Troll alongside us in the stat truck, as we like to say, and Cameron Irvine and Eric Vincent working hard behind the scenes. We've got 12 games coming your way all weekend. Another one in action right now. You heard about it at the halftime break, Queen City against Fort Worth. You can catch that game over on the SFL's Twitch page, twitch.tv/SimulationFL. We'll take you there as soon as we are done with this game here this afternoon. Eric Price, in his first game in the SFL, will toss it out to R.E. Mills, and there are a couple of Kings right on him immediately. Brett, I just remembered we didn't actually get to introduce you to the full Jacksonville defense in the first half, so hey, better late than never. Let's do it right now. The defensive line, Taquan Hale and Mike All, the defensive ends, Hunter Norwood and Marcus Sledge, the defensive tackles, the linebackers, a pair of rookies, Yakov Zolotov and John Martin. 4 wideouts this time for Denver. Fake handoff for Price. Floats it, and a jumping catch is made. And another first down for the Nightwings. Riley Quintero hauls it in. You look at those numbers, a decent first half of the first game of the professional career for Eric Price. It's his 12th pass completion.
And when you're in the mind of Adam Wiseman, the head coach, you have to think this has been a successful first half for ingratiating the rookies into their system. Because Eric Price he's thrown the ball all over the place to all the receivers there, and Bailey O'Shaughnessy around 70-plus all-purpose yards at this point.
Somebody else jumps offside. Second time I think that we'll see this penalty in this game. Hunter Norwood was trying to track down O'Shaughnessy from behind, and there is a look at Yakov Zolotov. We just talked about him, the rookie linebacker, and yes, indeed, second offside penalty of the game. That will go against Taquan Hale, the veteran defensive end. So now both teams guilty of an offside in this game.
No, just a slight jump there from Hale that unfortunately gives Denver 5 yards here. Jacksonville wanting to get back, getting this lead back for them after allowing a 2-minute warning touchdown in the first quarter. But now it's a 1st and 5 for Denver.
Yep, free 5 yards after that encroachment by the veteran Taquan Hale. On the ground, they go to O'Shaughnessy. A cutback for Bailey O'Shaughnessy, and he picks up about 9 yards. Nice gain and a first down stop by Greg Gaines. The rest of the secondary, the corners are Bernard Gooden and Connor Darien. The safeties, Greg Gaines, you just saw him there, and Succa Lomano, but none of them could do anything about Bailey O'Shaughnessy on this play.
That was a very nice juke move from O'Shaughnessy there, avoiding the tackle to get past the first down line and getting a few extra yards in the process. And now Denver's starting to roll here.
Denver knew it needed to remake a big portion of this team. New quarterback, new running back, new wide receiver 1. And now they will go on the ground to the fullback. One of the few holdovers, R.E. Mills, already has a touchdown in this game. And now he has a pickup of 8. And it was so awesome to just hear from Adam Wiseman, the new Denver head coach, there in that halftime break with Cam and Mike St. Green. And I love what he had to say about their draft philosophy. They knew they needed a quarterback. Josh Miller retired after 7 seasons, 2 SFL championships, and multiple All-Star game appearances. So they get a new quarterback. Where do they go? They get Eric Price in the second round of the draft after a first round in which a handful of quarterbacks were already selected. And then they wait to get their running back, this guy, Bailey O'Shaughnessy, who is one of the best known guys coming out of the minor leagues. Zolotov there on the tackle and a short gain. They wait until the very last pick of the draft. They knew they still needed a running back, but as you heard from Adam Wiseman there, they still had 2 guys on the board that they were going to be happy with. They end up with O'Shaughnessy, again, one of the best-known minor leaguers, and he joins the reigning champs. They will go to him here on 3rd and inches, and they give him the first down. He runs right into Taquan Hale. He's hard to get through, and this will depend on the spot. We've already seen one tight call in this game.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Denver challenged the Jacksonville close play here before. It doesn't look like they're going to do it here early in the second half, but Denver now gets that first down on a close first down play.
Yeah, if you missed it in the first half, Denver challenged a tight spot. They won the challenge, and then Jacksonville got the first down on the next play. Price to throw, bombs it, and it's caught at the 11-yard line. Another skyward catch is made by Riley Quintero. He's had a few of those in this game.
Yeah, Denver starting off this drive kind of maybe lulling Jacksonville to sleep with their short, methodical, slow drive here. And then Eric Price throws an absolute laser beam to Quintero. And Quintero once again showing off his leaping ability, getting that catch. And now they're close to the 10-yard line, well inside the red zone.
Denver on top 14-10 as we start off the second half of the first game of the year. Price to throw. It's caught once again by Jim Copeland Jr., the number 2 tight end on this Denver team. And if you were with us for the halftime break, you heard Adam Wiseman mention him as well. That's the minor league connection. 2 former Madison Lynx now playing together here in the big leagues. And that doesn't necessarily always translate to the SFL big leagues, Brett, like you might see in other sports, but it's so awesome to have that familial bond, the connection with guys that you already know, to try to build that into something that works together on the field as well. From the 5, the give to O'Shaughnessy, trying to stretch it outside, nowhere to go. Great defense that time from the Jacksonville defense, and Connor Darien, the new member of this secondary, makes the play.
That's going to be his 3rd tackle of the game there, Connor Darien. But a good swarm by the Jacksonville defense to get O'Shaughnessy basically a few yards behind the line. And now Denver has a 3rd down situation to go to.
Great choice of words. Connor Darien joining this defense from the Atlanta Swarm, where he spent his first 2 years. 3rd and 7 from the 8. Pass is caught short of the sticks, though. Well short of the sticks, in fact. Lomano was there to help make the play. I think that was Mosley on the catch. It's actually Jared Battle, 81, not 84, one of the other wideouts. And either way, a decision now here for Wiseman and company.
It looks like they're going to their field goal unit here, which I don't mind. They're pretty close, and I wouldn't risk it with a 4-point lead at this point.
This will be a chip shot about 21 yards for Matt Fennick. His first field goal attempt with his new team. Spent his first 2 years with the Louisiana Revolution, and his first field goal as a Nightwing is good. It's tough to succeed, Kramer Chapman, but it's been a perfect start for Matt Fennick so far. The Nightwings have their biggest lead of the game. You're watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. The Nightwings start off their first drive of the second half with 3 points, courtesy of their new kicker, Matt Fennick, who will now kick off to Kingston Ellington, the second-year kick returner. Jacksonville will start from the 25, but before that, we've got our first game break of the season. Cameron Irvine, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Tim. Eric, Fort Worth playing defense in the red zone.
Yes, sir. Second interception in the red zone for the Fort Worth Toros. This one coming off of Aiden Davis, the teenage phenom, coming out of Fort Worth, picking off the pass intended for Deezer Powell in the back corner of the end zone. Great play there. And Fort Worth, unfortunately, not able to do anything with it after that turnover.
Just 48 yards of offense in the first half. Queen City leads 10-0 at the break. Back to Tim and Brett.
Well, maybe not a lot of offense there, but a lot of offense here right out of the gates, the first play of the second half for the Kings, and a huge link up from Marcus Dunhill to Jack Wall.
Now, this is the Marcus Dunhill that SFL fans know, the great, deep, accurate passes. And this time it was to Jack Wall, who's always a deep threat.
Has been so good so far in this game, Brad. I'm curious your take on Marcus Dunhill, the renaissance of a former league MVP. On the ground, they go to Jared Willis, who was used a lot in the first half, 16 carries for only about 32 yards. They give him 4 that time. But Dunhill, as we said, his first game since April of 2020. Now, he did play in the All-Star game a little bit later, but those stats don't count for anything, obviously. So the first game on the record since April of 2020, and that was, of course, the Season 14 SFL championship game, a game that he won for his Atlanta Swarm. Now playing for the Kings, 2nd and 6. Dunhill will throw. Once again, he's got Jack Wall. It's been a busy day for the fourth-year man from Long Island. Caught 45 passes and 5 touchdowns last season after he scored only 5 touchdowns over his first 2.
It's a nice link up to Jack Wall once again, and we're going to see a healthy dose of Marcus Dunhill passes now that I would think he's shaken off the rust at this point. Basically a year and a half off, and now he's back into the fold, and it's just no issue for him now.
We've used the term big shoes to fill on both sides. Certainly applies for Dunhill, and they will go to Willis, and he has nowhere to go because he runs right into Des Troyer yet again. He has been a monster in this game, but when I was talking with Mike All a little bit, he said, and Mike All has said, we've got our quarterback because we had a quarterback in Christian Christensen. Everybody knew who he was, a multiple-time All-Star, and now they need somebody to replace Christian Christensen. Denver needs a new quarterback. They go to the draft. Jacksonville needs a quarterback. They go to the time machine. And Dunhill goes to the air here, and it was trying to find, I think it was Grayson Willis streaking down the flanks, Nick Kindler on the stop. So Jacksonville goes to the time machine. They pick up Marcus Dunhill, a guy who did not play in the last 2 seasons, 15 and 16, and now they've got their quarterback that they hope is for the future, somebody who's been around before, not an unproven commodity like Price, a former league MVP and a league champ. Dunhill now under center. 3rd and 10 after that incompletion in the pass breakup from Nick Kindler. Again, the play action. Again, Dunhill has time. Again to the sideline. Pass is caught for a gain of 7. Fuentes makes yet another stop. Is that Wall again? You better believe it. Another catch for Jack Wall, his 3rd on this drive.
Yeah, but that still forces a 4th down, and Denver doing a good job to stop Jacksonville from progressing any further. And now with the field goal unit out, they're going to try to inch their way back in this game.
And Derek Norman will come out for his 3rd field goal attempt of the game. He's made one and missed one. This will be the longest one so far from about 43, and it's good, officially from 42. So Norman misses his first, he hits his last 2, and the Kings respond to Denver's field goal with one of their own.
Yeah, it keeps Jacksonville in this game because with Denver they can absolutely swarm you on defense and just run that clock down if they wanted to. We've seen it from seasons past how menacing that Denver defense can be. There's a reason that they've had multiple 11-1 seasons, but Jacksonville inching their way closer to this game.
You talk about dominance in this league. It's hard to get better than Denver. Back-to-back 11-1 seasons, as you say, Brett, and 3 in the last 4 seasons, of course, culminating in the championship game a season ago. Riley Quintero gets out to the 31. You can visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, including this one, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archived people behind player segments, and all the major milestones in league history. The Nightwings adding their own milestone last season, of course, with their 2nd SFL championship. Price, in his first game in the Bigs, checks it down to his fellow rookie Bailey O'Shaughnessy, muscles out and picks up 2. And Adam Wiseman in that halftime interview, I loved this quote from him. The saying, obviously, Brett, the last pick of any draft, they call him Mr. Irrelevant. Denver waited until literally the last pick in this most recent draft to get their running back, their successor to Jared McChesney, who we haven't even mentioned yet, their last season's SFL MVP. They needed a new running back. They waited until their last pick to get him. So Bailey O'Shaughnessy is this year's Mr. Irrelevant, but like Adam Wiseman said, the most relevant Mr. Irrelevant in SFL history. No question about it. He picks up a couple there, and John Martin makes the stop.
Yeah, and like you said with Jared McChesney, when you're talking about former MVPs and having to fill those kind of shoes there, McChesney was all over the place last season with Denver. Most carries out of anyone in the league by far, and trying to fill those shoes is tough, but O'Shaughnessy's doing well so far.
It was hard to stop the J train last year. Price now to throw on 34, has a man wide open. Quintero with space in the secondary, breaks away, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, a big play. Price to Riley Quintero, rookie to sophomore, and Denver extends the lead.
And when you look at comparing quarterbacks, those deep plays is what separates the good players from the great players. And Eric Price finds the right receiver at the right time. Quintero had a little bit of room in front of him, and he just put on the jets, just kept running, shedding a few tackles and inching his way to the end zone. And now Denver, full momentum, 10-point lead. This is big for the Nightwings.
We've seen a lot of fireworks already in this game, Brett, but that's the biggest blast so far that either team has set off. Can that steer Denver towards a lead that is too big for Jacksonville to overcome? First time either team has opened up a two-possession lead here in this game. PAT from Fennec is true once again. Riley Quintero, 3 touchdown catches last year. But get this. In the regular season, 30 catches for 360 yards in those 3 touchdowns in 12 games. Small sample size. Denver only needed 3 playoff games because they got a first-round bye. But in those 3 playoff games, Quintero, 11 catches for 157 yards. So he really took his game to the next level in the postseason, his first as a big league player. Fennec will kick it off. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Denver now on top by 11. A decent return here for Kingston Ellington. We've got another game break. Cameron Irvine, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Tim. Eric, I think you know this guy. Watch this return.
I might know this guy just a little bit. That's a bad man wearing number 15 over with the Fort Worth Toros. My best friend, Cade Stevens, with the punt return for the score, busting it out near sideline, and Fort Worth is making this a ball game.
10-7 now in the third on SFL Twitch. Back to Tim and Brett in Denver.
Well, Brett, like I said in the first half, the SFL always showcases a little bit of everything. And in the first pair of games of this season, we have a punt return touchdown in that game between Queen City and Fort Worth. Here, we could have had a pick 6. That pass from Marcus Dunhill was out of the hands of Jose Fuentes. Could have been picked, could have gone to the house. Either way, Jacksonville will take it. They've got a new lease on life. Willis will try to pick up some of the slack. Fuentes reestablishing himself after that missed pick, makes the tackle and limits Willis to a gain of 4.
Well, if you look at that stat sheet over there that just came up a few seconds ago, Jared Willis, this is an unorthodox game for him, only having 2.2 yards per carry. He's trying to get himself back in this game. It's just not working.
Isaiah King III was also in on that stop. Another play-action pass for Dunhill, and another completion. This time he's got Grayson Willis. First catch of the half for one of the mainstay Willis brother, Grayson, who's now in his 7th season, all with Jacksonville. Jared has also been in the SFL for 7 years, but this is his 4th year with Jacksonville. With Ken Gossett, we haven't even mentioned that name yet, Brett. One of the best wide receivers in SFL history. He also departs alongside his longtime running mate, Christian Christensen. Grayson Willis is now the man in charge of the wide receiving corps. And a bullet pass that time from Dunhill. Another catch for Jack Wall. And if this game is anything to go by, you can see how important, how integral Jack Wall will be to this passing offense this year.
And we've seen a lot of it in the second half of how crucial Jack Wall is going to be to get Marcus Dunhill ingratiated in this offense. It's good to see him in the second half.
They went to him early and often, and they have not stopped. On the ground they go to Willis, and Willis is blown up. Great one-on-one tackle by Matt Papineau.
Yeah, and Papineau with another kind of just leaping tackle on Willis there, and Denver has done a fantastic job of essentially neutralizing the game of Jared Willis on the ground, which might be the difference maker in this game so far.
Jacksonville does not have to run another play in this quarter if they don't want to. Only 4 seconds on the clock. Dunhill is ready, and they will snap it with 2 seconds left. Dunhill, sidearm throw, wide open. Pass is caught. First down for Grayson Willis, all the way out to the Denver 41-yard line. A prove-it year for Grayson. He was the number 2 wide receiver in Jacksonville for his whole career, running behind the all-time great Ken Gossett his first year as the number 1 wideout, and he shows you why. Done with 3 quarters from Denver, the home of the reigning champs. They're on top by 11. 1 more quarter to play. It's next. This is the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium in Denver, Colorado. This is the SFL Saturday Showcase presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Alongside Brett Solberg, I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us. First of 12 games across the SFL family of networks as we kick off season 17. Dunhill on play action. Jack Wall is open again, and a big gain for Jack Wall gave him 17 through the air, and Jacksonville on the fringes of the red zone early.
Yeah, and they've seen Jack Wall get a lot of catches early on, so that was a very questionable thought of how wide open he was, basically catching it right at the first down line, getting himself some catches, tried to do a Robert Redford-esque spin there, just couldn't get it off with that. Had to give myself a call to one of my boys. But again, it's another great catch from Jack Wall. We're seeing a lot of him in the second half, and we're probably continuing to see him in this fourth quarter.
He's been an absolutely massive piece of this puzzle. Jack Wall has been huge for this team. Dunhill will throw again, looking for Wall again, and that's really his only misstep. It wasn't the greatest throw that we've seen from Dunhill in this game. It was a little bit behind him, but it hits Wall in the body and it falls to the turf.
I'll have to disagree with you on that. I felt like Dunhill made a really nice throw on that one. I feel like Jack Wall tried to catch that a little bit too early, if my wide receiver experience says anything on that. But again, it's just unfortunate first misstep for him.
Sure does. You know a thing or two about catching passes from good quarterbacks in this league. Wall was not able to do it there. They'll go over the middle again, and this time the pass is caught. That was a great catch from Kingston Ellington. He only caught 16 passes last season in his rookie year with the DC Dragons. He's got a handful already in this game.
And we're going to see a lot more impact from Kingston Ellington with this Jacksonville squad, who so far in this game has been successful with the pass. I would like to see Jared Willis get out of this funk, though.
Second-year wide receiver from Macon, Georgia, succeeds the former slot man Mike St. Green, who moves on to London after 2 seasons. Dunhill over the middle. That's caught for a touchdown. They go right back over the middle, and Jack Wall delivers again. Dunhill to Wall. Get used to hearing that this season for the Kings.
And we were talking about this throughout the end of the second quarter and throughout this first half, kind of like as an omen that Jack Wall was eventually going to get to the end zone. And now he has. And Jacksonville now back in this game. Denver not quite out of the waters yet. They're going to have to play some good football for the remaining 9:50 that's left in this game.
First passing touchdown as a King for Marcus Dunhill. First for him since April of 2020 after 2 seasons of retirement. The PAT is good from Derek Norman, and the Kings are right back in this thing, Brett Solberg. It's a 4-point game as we're a minute into the fourth quarter.
And going back to Marcus Dunhill, like we said, a year and a half off of playing SFL action. He's got over 240 yards at this point. I think he's back. There's no debate.
No question. And like we said, you need to succeed. Christian Christensen, one of the best quarterbacks in league history. He's 4th all time in completions, attempts, yards, and touchdowns. Who do you go with? Somebody like Marcus Dunhill, who has already well established himself through all those years as the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Swarm. Somebody who himself top 25 in SFL history in completions, attempts, completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and quarterback rating. And if Dunhill has anything like a decent season this year for the Kings, you look at Jacksonville at the end of the season, you're going to say Dunhill top 15 in all of those metrics. And this is just his 5th season as a quarterback in this league. So he already has a great track record. And as we've already said, a former league champ to come out of retirement and spearhead this team this year. Price, the rookie, in his first game in the pros, a bullet pass on the sideline that's hauled in somehow by Bryce Battle. Nice link up.
And almost deflected twice. 2 defenders with the diving deflection attempt there, but Price finds his receiver tapping the toes on the sideline, which as a receiver I love to see every time. Another first down for Denver as they trot down the field.
A ton of teams needed quarterbacks this offseason, including both of these two, as we've already outlined. Denver decided to wait to get theirs. O'Shaughnessy on the give. He stood up by Connor Darien, who's had a huge game so far, at least in terms of the tackles for loss category. Didn't have any last year with the Swarm, only 4 pass deflections in 2 seasons, and he's already got a couple of tackles on the line against Bailey O'Shaughnessy. You see him there, the third-year corner from Syracuse. So Denver needed a quarterback. A bunch went in the first round. They waited until the second, and there they decided that the price was right. O'Shaughnessy on the catch, I should say, and again Connor Darien on the stop. This time O'Shaughnessy picks up 2, and this is just such a fascinating connection when you've got a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. We see that plenty of times here in the SFL, Brett. These two are just going to be under the spotlight all season, and so far so good for both of those guys.
Especially with being in Denver, the spotlight is going to shine bright.
No kidding. You have to stand in for 2 all-time league greats, 2 Denver Hall of Famers. Price to throw on 3rd and long on a comeback route. It's caught, but well short of the sticks by Jeremy Mosley, the veteran tight end, his 4th year. The Jackson, Mississippi native who now lives in Jacksonville, he says, so playing against the team from his current home city, and he's able to make the catch, but he's held short of the sticks by 4 yards, and the Night Wings will have to punt for the first time in the second half.
And this is what Jacksonville needs if they want to get the lead, is get Denver to basically stop Denver at all costs, and this is what happened here.
Wiseman will punt. Matty Wiseman, that is. Ellington on the return. Spins out of one hit, and we won't see a punt return touchdown in this game, unfortunately. APM Music is the unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit APM Music. I'm thrilled to have them along for the ride here in Season 17 of the SFL, and we're happy to have you with us as well. Jacksonville within 4 of the reigning champs in Week 1. Dunhill throws, caught again by Jack Wall. I've lost track of just how many catches that is for the big tight end, Jack Wall, but he has been everywhere for Dunhill and company.
Can we start trademarking the term "the hill to the wall"? Because I feel like that's going to happen all season. Is the hill to the wall? We're seeing a lot in this second half. Which I personally love Jack Wall, and I love seeing the success so far. So good going.
Wall is really building himself up here And his first year playing with Marcus Dunhill, and not a lot going through the air this time for Jared Willis. Once again, let's check in on Queen City and Fort Worth with a game break from Cameron Irvine.
Thanks, Tim. Eric, Deezer Powell gets the better of the Fort Worth secondary here.
Yeah, a 48-yard touchdown grab here for Deezer Powell. A beautiful throw and a beautiful route there by Powell as he just skates into the end zone with ease. Queen City up back on top.
But Fort Worth back in Corsair territory. Back to Brett and Tim in Denver.
Next cam, 3rd down and 4 from Denver. Dunhill trying to link up with Shea Carroll. The pass is incomplete, but Brett, another offside penalty. The 3rd that we're going to see in this game. Week
Perfect.
1 jitters
you,
playing
Eric.
a factor for both of these
Yes,
teams.
Yeah, and this
That's
penalty,
how it
if I'm
should be
not
done.
mistaken, might get them into first down territory, if not 3rd and close here. So it's a good thing for Jacksonville after that incomplete pass.
You're right. I think it was 3rd and 4, and that's going to be a free 5 yards. And so a bonus first down for Jacksonville after that pass was incomplete. Marlon Marshall, the guilty party there, he had 3
Look at
tackles for
Wall,
loss
10
all
for
season
109.
last year for the Nightwings. He
Holy
had 2
crap.
in the first half of this game. So can he make his 3rd year in the SFL a career year?
Gossett who?
Dunhill under pressure, hit as he throws and just barely able to
Who needs
avoid a
him? You
sack.
got
He
Jack
was
Wall.
waylaid by Greg Verne,
Whoa, what a
who does not
catch.
get a lot of playing time for this Denver defense.
4
Gets a
white
pat on
jerseys
the helmet
around
from
him.
Des
RG
Troyer,
Jr.
who
just
we've already seen
handles it. No
affect the
problem.
passing game with his ferocious pressure. That time Greg Verne will get the quarterback hurry.
Yeah, when you don't see a lot of action, you gotta take as much opportunity as you can there. And Verne did exactly that. He got through the offensive line and basically got to Dunhill as he was throwing.
From the 2 tight end set, a new look this season for Jacksonville and 2 wides. Dunhill waits and will toss it out to Jared Willis, who accelerates and has a first down out of nothing. That's what Jared Willis can do for you. One of the best pass-catching backs in the SFL. Blanchek eventually on the stop. Willis with the first down all by himself.
And that's what you can see the capability of Jared Willis here. He hasn't had a lot of good action all game, but getting that from basically a 0 to a first down, it's good to see. And hopefully that breaks that funk, that little bit of cold 3 quarters for him. And hopefully for the Jacksonville fans, he heats up at the right time.
Jared Willis, that is, has played in this league for as long as his brother Grayson, but Jared actually has more catches lifetime than Grayson does, and he has so today as well. Dunhill over the middle. That was right into Adam Weissman's body. He wasn't ready for the pass. It could have been another pick.
Yeah, that's the first missed throw, I would say, from Marcus Dunhill there. I don't know where the receiver was for that one, but Adam Weissman, it was he almost had that superhero pose as it hits his chest, like a la Superman kind of going on with that. But now it's a 2nd and 10.
Well, unfortunately, the Jacksonville wide receivers also had the superpower of being invisible on that play, and Dunhill is able to dodge a bullet like Superman. 2nd and 10 from the midfield stripe. Dunhill bullets it. That could have been picked as well. Matt Papineau, he's had his fingerprints all over this game, Brett. We talked about him last year for the Nightwings on the route to a championship. He was their number 1 corner. They have an open, strong safety spot because Maurice Lloyd departs the team. So Papineau is the one to slide over to play that strong safety spot. So his first game in the SFL as a safety, he spent his first 3 as a corner, his first game as a safety, and he's been everywhere. He's got a pass break up there.
And the transition from any position is always tough, so it's good to see Papineau having a strong game here.
Led the team with 6 picks a season ago and a strong game, like you say, as a strong safety. 3rd and 10. Dunhill's pass is tipped, and it's picked off that time. Adam Weissman with some retribution. That pick was harder than the play he had 2 plays ago, but he makes it that time, and Denver has its first takeaway.
You know, you throw risky passes. We've seen a couple of them on this drive here, and eventually it's just unfortunately going to pay off in interceptions, I should say. I'm already slurring my words here, but Adam Weissman, he's been all over the place, and he finally gets that interception after a couple dropped interception attempts there, and now Denver has the momentum back and can increase the gap if they can get to the end zone again.
Who had the first tip on that tip drill? Jose Fuentes, who, as you mentioned, Brett, early in the game, 9 pass deflections last year. He's got a tip that leads to a pick here in his first game as a Nightwing. O'Shaughnessy with a nice run. Picks up 8.
And I feel like the separation between Jacksonville and Denver has been the ground game. And O'Shaughnessy has had a really successful debut so far, close to 90 all-purpose yards from O'Shaughnessy. And Jared Willis just hasn't had that success in this game. That might be the separation between the two teams.
As Adam Wiseman said at the half, they wanted to get Bailey O'Shaughnessy on this team. They were happy to do so, but as many people have pointed out, he is very different from the last running back, that he is succeeding here in Denver, and nowhere to go for O'Shaughnessy, the rookie there. Rookie-on-rookie crime. John Martin, the third-round pick from Salt Lake City, the Cincinnati native, makes a stop. A lot has been made of that, Brett. These are two different types of running backs. McChesney was known as the J-Train. He was a power back, charge it down the middle, down your throat, whatever you want to say. O'Shaughnessy is more of the finesse back. He can catch passes like we've seen from Jared Willis in his career. So they're two different types of backs. Denver with a different philosophy maybe this year, but they're hoping for similar success, of course. That pass is caught by Logan Keel. We've seen that play have some success a couple of times in this game. Logan Keel, as we said, did not play for Denver a season ago. He's back as maybe the new number one wide receiver to succeed Giacomo Jones.
There could be a debate that Riley Quintero might be the number one receiver, especially after this game so far that he's had. But with all the options that Price has, this has been so far a really nice game for him.
One of the two pass receiving touchdowns for Price in this game. And right on cue, Brett, take a bow. There's a pass over the middle to Riley Quintero playing in the slot there, but a pickup of 9 and another nice gain for the sophomore wideout.
And for this catch, Quintero should be over the 100-yard mark, and that's going to be 2 players in this game, along with Jack Wall, to get over 100 yards here. So far, great passing games from both teams here, but Denver has the slight edge.
Anchored by that big touchdown catch that he had, over 100 yards in this game. He finished last year's regular season with 360 yards total over 12 games. Here goes O'Shaughnessy, breaks out of a tackle. O'Shaughnessy still going into the red zone, and a great run for the rookie Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Zolotov, the rookie out of Quebec, makes the stop, but O'Shaughnessy showing that he can run with power too.
This has been an excellent game for the Denver offensive line. You have to give credit to them to give Bailey O'Shaughnessy enough space to run down the field and increase that YPC, which is always important in this league, more important than I would say a lot of other leagues. So kudos to them.
We talked a lot about this Jacksonville defensive line, and justly so. They're so good, but they have not had a lot of impact. Remember, they had a sack on the first possession, none since. O'Shaughnessy on the give, a short gain. We've got another game break from Fort Worth. Let's go back to the studio with Cameron Irvine.
Thanks, Tim. Eric, Fort Worth hanging tough in the season opener.
We got a game down in the stockyards. Can I get a cowboy, baby? RG Jr. with the catch in the end zone. Evens things up at 17 apiece going into the fourth quarter.
Wow, bonus coverage of that game after the conclusion of Jacksonville and Denver. Back to Brett and Tim at Richard Snowden Memorial.
Well, the Cowboy strikes in Fort Worth, and the Nightwings trying to defend their home territory here, and a big hit on R.E. Mills. That does not happen to him often. Suckle Omano, the veteran now of this defensive backfield, his 4th year all with the Kings, now a strong safety this year, moving over from free safety from a season ago. Big hit for him there.
Laying the smackdown, as you could say there. Lomano getting close to double-digit tackles in this game. Been all over the place.
Another longtime King that departed after last season, Alex Bond, left after 8 seasons. Suckle Omano fills his role as the team's strong safety. Inside of 3 minutes left in regulation time, Price fires over the middle, and the diving catch is made by Bryce Battle. What a play. 3rd touchdown pass of the game for Price. 1st touchdown catch for Battle, and the Nightwings go back up by 10.
On Price's last touchdown, we talked about the separation between good and great players, and another thing to separate good and great players is threading the needle, which is exactly what happened there. In just the closest of close fields of vision there that Price had, he threads the needle to Quintero, and now Denver has the separation that they want, close to the 2-minute warning, and giving them that separation that they want, like I said.
Brett, Dunhill has looked really good in this game. Remember, former league MVP, former league champ, all that stuff, whatever. Eric Price is a rookie. This is his first game in the SFL major leagues. You know as well as anybody that rookies usually take some time to adjust in the SFL. Yeah, it's one game. We're not even done with one game. But how about Eric Price in this game? He's looked great.
I think he also has the benefit for playing with the defending champion Denver Nightwings. Like the entire coaching staff, the entire ownership group, they know what they're doing. So Denver has done an incredible job of making Eric Price's life a lot easier in this first game for making an incredible debut. Gotta say.
There is no doubt about that it helps playing with a team that brings so much back. We talked about all the departures for both of these teams, but yeah, I mean, if you're the reigning champs, they lost six players, I should say, from their championship team a season ago, but they have so many people back. And like we talked about before, Bryce Battle is one of those guys. Now his fourth season in the SFL, the Jacksonville native now striking against his hometown team and extending Nightwings lead. 2.5 to go for Dunhill. Again, he floats it up. Again, it's hauled down by Wall. Fuentes on the stop, and here comes the hurry up, Brett.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do, especially when they're down 11 at this point. That's 2 possessions.
2.5 to go in the fourth, and like you say, a 2-possession game. Dunhill now taking his time. Delayed handoff, a fake handoff. Dunhill floats it, and it's caught near the sticks. They'll say short. Fuentes on the stop. Willis on the catch.
They got to go deep on these next plays here. They can't go short with all these.
Coming up on the 2-minute warning, and they snap it before it somehow. Dunhill this way, and it's dropped by Wall. Tried to make a sliding center field catch. Could not do so. 2 minutes to go in the first game of Season 17. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Two minutes to go in the season opener. Crunch time for the Kings, trying to dethrone the reigning champions who have only lost 3 times total over the last 2 seasons. 4th and inches, Dunhill will go. Pass is caught wide open. Jared Willis accelerates. They keep him in bounds, and a great tackle for Weissman.
And Denver was thinking deep on this one, but they went with Jared Willis on the side, giving him enough space to get first down and more.
Scores needed, 11-point game, 1:40 to go. This way, they'll float it. Grayson Willis makes the catch that time. Tackled inbounds once again by Nick Kindler.
They're inching their way through, but I'd love to see a deeper pass here to stop that clock.
Gain of 11 for Grayson Willis. Dunhill with 90 seconds left. Floats it left sideline. That's tipped. Kindler almost had it. He was going for Wall on a streak down the left sideline.
Yeah, and Jack Wall was the guy they're looking for there, and a smart idea going deep with him. They've been successful all game.
Coming up after the conclusion of this game, we'll send you to Fort Worth for bonus coverage of Queen City against Fort Worth, and then Cameron Irvine and Eric Vincent will react to the early slate of games and get you prepped for the second block of our doubleheader today, which features Florida and Arizona, plus bonus coverage of Portland and Houston. That's all coming up after this game, but we've got a long way to go. Willis on the catch. Jared Willis accelerates, and another first down for the Kings.
Yeah, and that's what they want to see out of Willis. If the run game isn't going, they got to go with the reception king from last season, which he's going to keep going with.
Third in the league among all players in catches a season ago. Dunhill will throw. It's caught again by Jared Willis in a pickup of 6 that time.
Denver doing a good job protecting deep there, which is forcing short passes for Dunhill.
The stat man, Santagria on the stop. Dunhill under pressure, steps up, and he's taken down by Des Troyer. A great cap to a fantastic game for the veteran.
That's still good awareness from Dunhill. Get to back the line of scrimmage.
40 seconds left. Dunhill is ready. Floats it this way. It's caught by Wall, but he's out of bounds.
Not a bad idea with that one. Trying to go down to the sideline for Jack Wall to stop the clock because the clock kept ticking. They're down to 40 seconds now. 4th and 4. You have to think they're going to go for it.
They looked like they were bringing out the field goal kicker down by 11. Brett, what do you do here? Do you go for it or do you kick it?
You're down 11. That's 2 possessions. You have to go for it, even because it's a tough situation because most of the time those onside kicks don't work. So you have to go for it all.
So Norman will come on to kick. He's already missed once today, but he's good this time. Norman makes his last 3 field goals, and Jacksonville has cut it to a 1-score game. Onside kick for all the marbles coming up next, Brett.
Yeah, they're going to have to go with the onside kick here, but again, like I said, I am the more aggressive type, so I probably would have recommended a 4th down. Like you gotta go for it, but we're gonna see an onside kick here, and for Jacksonville, they want to have luck come on their side.
Neither team has used any timeout. Keep that in mind. But 37 seconds left in regulation, and that goes right into the hands of a Nightwing. It's Bud Walter, one of the backup tight ends, that may have just sealed it for the home team.
Yeah, Jacksonville just didn't have that luck on that one there. The bounce was a little bit too high and too deep on the onside kick there, and now Denver has the ball with an 8-point lead. We're probably going to see a lot of runs, if not the victory formation.
Still an outside shot for the Kings with all 3 timeouts, as we just mentioned, and 36 seconds left. They'll stretch it out to Bailey O'Shaughnessy, and he is smacked by Bernard Gooden. I think that's the first time outside of the player introductions, Brett, that we have said Bernard Gooden's name. The veteran corner now in his 6th season playing for his hometown team, the Jacksonville Kings, helped move this franchise from Tallahassee up to Jacksonville. That's his first tackle that we've talked about in this game.
Yeah, it's been a quiet game for a couple players as well. We haven't talked a lot about Taquan Hale, and like you said, Bernard Gooden, but we've seen a lot of Succalamano and John Martin, so they've been doing good to balance it out.
Half a minute left. O'Shaughnessy on the carry, and another stop. It's timeout coming for Jacksonville. We've got another game break. Let's head down to Fort Worth. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thanks, Tim. Eric, Fort Worth has come all the way back, and you're about to see a beautiful run from Jason Williams.
We've got some impressive bonus coverage on the docket. Jay Will, Williams himself, bouncing off of tacklers out to the outside, and he's going to take it all the way to the house to take the lead at home in the Stockyards.
24-17. Jacksonville takes their last time out. They're going to get the ball back to Tim and Brett.
Cam, Eric, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure listening to you guys today. Brett, I got to ask for your thoughts on that decision. On 3rd and 4, Denver elects to take a knee. They force Jacksonville to use its last timeout. That's going to give the Kings the ball back.
And it's interesting as well that they didn't go with the field goal unit to increase the lead. They're going to punt the ball back. They're going to hopefully try to cuff and corner this as deep as possible with very little time left to make it a near impossible task for Jacksonville.
So they could have gone with the star kicker, Matt Fennick, who has only missed 1 kick in his career. Instead, they go with Maddie Wiseman to try to angle the Kings out of bounds, and she does a decent job. Jacksonville will start at the 17. What do you think about that decision, Brett?
I would have liked if the punt went a little bit deeper, because with Dunhill and that wide receiving core, you never know. 83 yards could sometimes just mean 1 play.
83 yards, 21 seconds, and an 8-point deficit. Dunhill's pass is caught by Wall. No timeouts left for the Kings, 15 seconds on the clock.
They need to go deep on this one. If they go short, then the game is over.
10 seconds left, 8 seconds left, and Dunhill will spike it with 8 seconds left. We're not done yet. We're not done in this SFL season. Sunday on For the Fans. Tomorrow, everything starts with the battle for the Southern Division. It starts all over again when Mexico City faces off against Lone Star at 12:30, followed by Bryant Dynasty and the Atlanta Swarm against Johnny Pickler and the London Knights. Bonus coverage includes San Diego and Sioux Falls and St. Louis and Tulsa. That's all tomorrow on For the Fans. 8 seconds left here in the kickoff to season 17 of the Simulation Football League. Dunhill, he's going to go deep this time, looking for Wall. Wall's got the catch, but there's no time left. The Nightwings will hold on at home. The defending champs start off season 17 with a victory. The final score, Denver 31, Jacksonville 23.
Yeah, and for Denver, this is just business as usual for them. They win the championship a few months back, and now they're coming in. They start off 1-0 at their home stadium. Basically, the separation of this game, I think, again, was the running back core. You saw a lot more success from Bailey O'Shaughnessy than we did from Jared Willis. So a great debut from Bailey O'Shaughnessy. And let's talk about the debut of Eric Price as well. Like ice in his veins in the second half, finding the receivers, threading needles, throwing it deep. Just an absolutely amazing start to the season for Eric Price. And like we said on the commercial break, we could see this guy becoming Rookie of the Year after this performance.
I mean, it's too early to say, obviously, after one game, but the two rookies on offense for Denver in this game, they live up to the expectations. Price, a second-round pick. O'Shaughnessy, a third-round pick, the very last pick in the most recent draft, so maybe not a ton of individual expectations considering the draft position, but considering the team that they have come into, considering the guys that they have had to succeed on this season. Josh Miller and Jared McChesney, two all-time greats for this storied franchise. Really good starts in the major league career for Eric Price and Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Denver wants to see, especially if they're defending the title. And we heard in the preseason that Denver might have a down year, with maybe one or two people saying that they might even miss the playoffs. I don't think so anymore after this performance.
This is a great win against a really good team in Jacksonville, and kudos to Mike All for putting all of these pieces together. He said that as soon as he got into the SFL, he knew he wanted to be a general manager. He gets the opportunity to do that here with Jacksonville, and he's got a lot of things to do, but a decent start for him. And no surprise, Brett, Eric Price is our player of the game.
Yeah, it's an incredible performance by him.
Great start to his major league career. We're going to send you now to Fort Worth. Live bonus coverage for the Toros against the Corsairs. Here's Josh Circle and Andy Hamilton. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So long.
But hangs onto the ball. It's a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Huge catch there for Stevens. Sets him up 2nd and short. This could be Williams, could be Alexander. Either one could get the carry here.
We'd like to welcome those of you who just saw Denver beat Jacksonville 31-23. You are coming into this game at just the right time. Queen City and Fort Worth, we are tied at 24. Time ticking away at Fort Worth with a chance to win the game. And Jason Williams coming up with a big first down here. And the clock continues to run with 3.5 minutes remaining, Andy.
Kappa Jones with the tackle there, the strong safety making the play, and both of these teams with huge opportunities here. Fort Worth to score, but also for Queen City to make a defensive play. They've sat on their shield all day on defense. Let's see if they can get another stop.
Two tight ends for Fort Worth. Pass is thrown and did not see the ball. Fort Worth defender got hit in the back with the football. And I think that was Lauren Percoco, whose name we've not called. And she gets a target of sorts, a dubious one at that. 2nd and 10.
Well, it hit her. I mean, it's a good throw if it hits you, I guess, right?
Right in the numbers, but usually they mean the numbers on the front of the jersey, not the back.
Right.
Percoco will stay in the game. It's 2nd and 10. Twin wide receivers to the top of your screen. 5 defensive backs for Queen City. Curtis with a deep drop. The deal to Williams, and he has nowhere to go. That Queen City defense suffocating him once again. A gaggle of white jerseys there will make it 3rd and 11.
And this is where the Queen City Corsairs want to be. About under 3 minutes left, 3rd and long. You're going to force Fort Worth into a throw. Your defensive line has played big all game. Watch number 94 in the middle, David Tilley. His time to shine. Another sack could be big.
Curtis, short drop. On 3rd and 11, throwing over the middle. That is caught, but he's going to be short of the marker. He held on to the ball. And that was Stephen Hacker, and it's going to be 4th and inches at big decision time here for Fort Worth.
Wow, that was about as tight as it got, and it really goes back to the play before where they checked down to Williams. Williams couldn't even get a yard. Hold on, offense on the field. This is the play of the game.
They will have to snap this. They won't get to the 2-minute warning. The play clock is a second behind the game clock.
Can't burn a timeout, can you?
Not here. In a tie game? In a tie game? Oh, and he does!
Oh, man.
Cameron Curtis tried to get the jump with the hard count. Could not, and they will burn a timeout, and they may come to regret that decision, Andy Hamilton.
Yeah, well, credit to the defensive line for Queen City. Andre Krim, DJ Majesty, David Tilley do not jump. A rambunctious defensive line that's been adjusted in this offseason. Only one of them playing on the team last year. They stood up to the challenge from the veteran Cameron Curtis. They will force a punt out of Einhorn, and they take a timeout from Fort Worth in a pivotal game. They do have the 2-minute warning, but Fort Worth really trusting their defense there to be able to take that timeout.
That is a decision that will get some water cooler mileage tomorrow and over the course of the week. Punt is away, and Spelling will take a shot, and we do reach the 2-minute warning. Strap in, buckle up, settle down. Here we go. 1:56 to play here. We are knotted at 24 apiece. Queen City, Fort Worth, SFL Twitch kickoff weekend for season 17. So glad to have you with us. Josh Circle, Andy Hamilton on the call. Stephen Hacker, Rochelle Colston in the truck. Cameron Irvine, the commissioner, producing this game. And now it's all up to AJ Caswell to march his team 80 yards down the field. And that is a very strong start.
Doug Spelling again. He's done that all game today. Just found the open space and got catches.
Caswell again. Second down, throwing, and that is complete. Jet Zero is going to sneak out of bounds. Oh, he did not get past the sticks. That's going to be no gain. 3rd and 1, Andy.
Yeah, surprising there. That is the 4th catch for Jet Zero today. He's done decently in that. He had about 6 yards or so, but they're going to say he stepped out there. It's tough for those big guys sometimes to keep their feet. 3rd and a yard. Again, I think it's Jet Zero time right up the gut.
I agree. 1:40 left to play here in regulation. They do not go to Jet Zero. By ground or by air. They go to Ochoa, and Ochoa moves the chains again. That's his second big possession catch, moving the chains for Queen City here in the 4th quarter.
Well, and I think if you polled the viewers at home and everyone in this stadium, about 98% would say that that was going to Jet Zero. Beautiful play call by Queen City to go the opposite way, a out route to the other end of the screen, and it really caught Fort Worth off guard. It moves the chains.
1:37 to play here. Clock is stopped with Ochoa going out of bounds on the catch. Trips to the top of your screen. Caswell does not have time to throw. Down he goes. And that is a big sack. That is Jeff Duffy has made his presence felt. And now Queen City has to hurry up.
Against his former team.
Caswell over the middle. That is caught. A first down for Queen City. That is James Matthew Jr., and he's going to hurry the line back up.
Beautiful play from the tight end to get open. Moves the chains here to the 47.
Caswell dealing again to the middle of the field again, not giving his receivers a chance to get out of bounds. Perhaps by design. Matthew Jr. again with a catch, 2nd and 2. Less than a minute to play here. Caswell dealing quickly. Another big catch by Matthew Jr., and they are marching down the field. They're inside the 30-yard line.
James Money Matthews, keep going to him.
43 seconds remaining. Caswell in the shotgun. The pressure cannot get there. And another big catch. And Deezer Powell getting the end zone for the touchdown.
on the corner route nonetheless. They fed that to Deezer Powell in the red zone, and it was Aiden Davis earlier in the game who made a fool of Deezer Powell by jumping in front and making the interception. They go back to it in crunch time, and this time Powell makes a fool of Davis right in front of him and is able to duck in for the score. Powell's second touchdown of the game, and it puts Queen City in front. For Fort Worth, though, you almost can't be upset because at very least you have some time to get back into this one.
39 seconds, but they will need a touchdown. And if Dane Moore has anything to say about it, and an extra point as well, just to bring about a tie. Kick is up. That extra point is good. And just like that, Queen City back on top, who had led the majority of this game. And now after an 8-play, 76-yard drive, capped with that 29-yard touchdown catch and run by Deezer Powell, Queen City back on top, 31-24.
Watch Cade Stevens here. He's broken one. Is he clutch enough to get another one down there?
Stevens from the 3. Oh, and he fumbles! Ball is loose! And Fort Worth fortunately recovers. What a scary moment there for Fort Worth. Comeback was almost finished before it started.
Jamal Martin saves that one, and lucky to fall on it there, Josh. I mean, that would have been disaster.
Absolutely. As it stands now, Fort Worth 76 yards away from tying this game. Curtis will start at his own 24, and he will throw out of the power eye, and that is deflected and incomplete. Kappa Jones, the reaver back, which is Queen City's name for that slot defensive back, coming up with a deflection.
Yeah, they're trying to get it to Robert Garrett Jr., their most targeted receiver. He's got 5 grabs on the day for right around 60 yards, and Jones well positioned there to be in front of it and make the play. Their longest throw of the day, Josh, 30 yards to Cade Stevens. They're going to need, it looks like 2 or 3 of those, or a longer throw in order to win this football game.
And I think working the middle of the field at this point would be folly. You've got to get out of bounds. You only have 2 timeouts now. Curtis, from 2nd and 10, throwing to the middle of the field again, and that is nearly intercepted. It's Kappa Jones again coming up huge for the second straight play, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they tried to force it on the out route, but Queen City was all over that one. And the Corsairs are a couple plays away here from taking this ball game in Fort Worth territory. The underdogs have an opportunity here, and they're looking to pillage and pirate this win away from Fort Worth, but still 2 downs to go.
And 26 seconds to go. Fort Worth still working out of that power eye. Curtis dealing to the left side. That is caught.
Get out of bounds. There you go.
Robert Garrett Jr. gets out of bounds. That will stop the clock with 20 seconds remaining. Cameron Curtis, you see the numbers there. Not a tremendous volume of work, but getting it done here and getting the pass to Garrett Jr.
Yeah, laid out there from the tight end, able to shake off one, does get out of bounds, which is also helpful for this offense, and it moves them up the field into, at very least, Josh, Hail Mary range, which always is going to give them a chance here at home. So big from Robert Garrett Jr. there. You like to see it, and they need to keep the ball moving down the field. Not necessarily a huge throwing formation, though, that they're in.
No, they're still staying in this 2 running back set. Aaron Alexander staying on the field. Dealing over the middle. Deflected. And falls right at the feet of Alexander. Nice deflection there by David Tilley, who's done it all in this game. An outstanding play there, 2nd and 10.
I think that might have been Crow. I think Tilley had the pressure there. I mean, we'll watch it back. That would have been surprising if they dropped Tilley that deep in coverage. But then again, it is week 1. Anything you got. This formation looks more passing to me. 1 tight end, 2 receivers. So we'll see.
Curtis under center. 16 seconds to play here. 3-step drop. Pressure at his feet. Dealing, and it's intercepted. Kappa Jones with another big play on this drive. And he's got room to run. 10, 5. Kappa Jones at the 2-yard line. A huge interception. And Cameron Curtis is first of the day.
first of season 17 for Cameron Curtis. He's looked good all day, has struggled a lot today to find open receivers, tries to force one to Robert Garrett Jr. on the 50Z tight end cross, and the Queen City Corsairs have walked into Fort Worth. They've put together a solid game. They fought through adversity when Fort Worth started to get back into it via a special teams touchdown return and an interception from Kappa Jones. Kappa's this game off, and Caswell is going to take a knee here at the 2-yard line to finish it off.
Outstanding. A team effort, offense and defense, for Queen City. Jet Zero getting it done. David Tilley had a tremendous game. Kappa Jones, 2 passes deflected, and then the interception that he nearly took to the house. Not a pick 6. I feel like we should give him a pick 3.5 for getting so close. But as it stands, it ices the game, at least until Fort Worth runs out of timeouts. Anything could happen here in the SFL. Caswell will take another knee, and we are down to 1 second. Tomorrow on For the Fans, the battle for the Southern Division starts all over again when Mexico City faces off against Lone Star at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by Bryant Dynasty and the Atlanta Swarm versus Johnny Pickler at Pickler's London Knights debut. Bonus coverage includes San Diego Sioux Falls and St. Louis Tulsa. We are just about out of business here in Fort Worth. Caswell will take a knee, and that'll do her. Queen City, for the second straight year, beats Fort Worth in week 1 of the regular season. 31-24. Andy Hamilton, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it really was a Queen City show. They came out, put 300-plus passing yards on this Fort Worth defense, which was their strength. Cade Stevens here, as you see with this big punt return, gets the Toros reignited to get some offense moving. They fight back into the game, but really, from the jump, Josh, Queen City looked like the stronger team through 4 quarters and really deserved the victory here today. A.J. Caswell, a couple of turnovers, but did have 3 touchdowns. They came in as the team on the road and really put in a lot of work. They had a lot of rookies making big plays in Doug Spelling and Cody Griffin, as well as some veterans in Deezer Powell, Andre Krim, David Tilley. This Queen City team, a lot of people are probably going to be surprised at this result, but I have to say they played really well today. For Fort Worth, they get to go back to the drawing board and try and draw up a better situation to put themselves in a chance to win. They did have a really good 3rd and 4th quarter there. The ball didn't fall their way this time, but that doesn't mean that either of these 2 teams are going to be slouches heading through the rest of season 17. Both are going to be tough teams to play for anyone. But really, it was A.J. Caswell and this receiving offense and the defense for Queen City that won them this game.
The Queen City defense did look outstanding, but A.J. Caswell, who was sharp and really could have been even sharper, completed 19 of his first 20 passes of the game. And it wasn't until he threw a pair of end zone interceptions that Fort Worth was able to work their way back into the game. You mentioned the kick return touchdown from Cade Stevens. That certainly helped. And then it was that play by Kappa Jones, really epitomizing how everybody from that Queen City defense chipped in. Cody Griffin, the rookie, looked outstanding. And David Tilley, who had so many sacks in this game. I have no idea who player of the game is going to be. It is A.J. Caswell, 32 of 41, 369, 3 touchdown passes, and a partridge in a pear tree. Andy Hamilton, this has been so much fun. I really appreciate it. For Cameron Irvine, our amazing stats team of Stephen Hacker and Rochelle Colston, and for Andy Hamilton, I'm Josh Circle. This has been a production of the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music. Your final score from Fort Worth, Queen City 31, Fort Worth 24. We'll send it back to SFL Studios for analysis of what's next after these messages. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Sim Football Post Game. Look, we're back. It's Eric Vincent. I'm Cameron Irvine. What a first couple of games on the docket, Eric. 31-23, Denver beats Jax, and 31-24, Queen City upsets Fort Worth in Chris Comasac's very quick return to Fort Worth. Your thoughts quickly on those matchups?
I just got to catch my breath for a second there, man. I mean, both games, they lived up to the hype as they were advertised. Eric Price, the rookie, coming out and just firing on all cylinders for Denver, getting their first win of the season and his first win in his major league career. And then down in the Stockyards, Fort Worth did everything they could to try and keep themselves in the ball game. Special teams touchdown by Cade Stevens, but it was just all for naught. The run game was not there for Fort Worth, and it ended up being their undoing as Queen City had a complete game.
And now we turn our attention to the next group of games this afternoon. Florida takes on Arizona coming up, and Portland and Houston will be in bonus coverage, and we'll have game breaks of that one. What do you think about these matchups coming up, Eric?
Got another great slate of games here. Florida and Arizona, both playoff teams from a season ago. Arizona getting the home draw here at Fatality Field. Always a tough place to play, and Ashley Jackson will have the troops ready. And I spoke about them in the pregame, or excuse me, in the preseason show. Portland, they're going to be at a crossroads here this season up against Houston. Always a tough out in bonus coverage.
It should be a lot of fun, a lot of high expectations in Portland, and of course Florida always expects to win a championship. It's going to be interesting to see how they look against Eddie Gage's much improved bunch in Arizona. All right, that's it for our post-game and our pre-game coverage of what's coming up next. After this commercial break, you will have Arizona and Florida on the other side. And we'll see you then. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.